everyone, welcome back to Miss Azrael's Gaming. So today we're going to get back into Stray Gods. And if you remember from the last video, we're playing as Grace. And she was there when Calliope, the muse, showed up on her, in her apartment, and she had been murdered. And so her powers went to Grace. And now she is the muse, and she has 1 week to figure out what happened to Calliope and prove her innocence that she didn't do it. So let's go ahead and start at the muse's hideaway.
Oh, it's open. That's not a good sign. This is Calliope's apartment? I don't know what I was expecting, but not this. Hello? Oh, sure, Grace, good job. Just announce to the killer that you're here. I better have a look around.
Oh, good, we actually get to interact, so, hopefully we'll get a look at everything. Let's just start at the top. Let's look at the guitar.
Damn, look at that. That's beautiful. How do you even get one of these?
Okay, let's look at the light.
After Calliope left the audition, where did she go? Did she follow me? Did she come here?
Okay, elegant painting.
Did she paint that? Looks like it belongs in a museum.
Okay, Warhol painting.
Andy Warhol, yeah, that makes sense. I wonder how many celebrities she knew.
Drums.
Right. These aren't... Do I inherit these as the new muse? Is that even okay to ask?
Okay, Elvis picture.
I want to believe this is just an ironic photo of Elvis and she wasn't like his muse, or...
Okay, harp.
A giant harp. Of course there's a giant harp.
Okay, instrument. Isn't that called a piano?
So many instruments in here. Did she play all of them?
And now we're gonna go upstairs.
I don't see anything useful down here. Maybe there's something upstairs? Oh man. Keep it together, Grace. It's just your average, everyday...
There were only 3 muses, not 9. Whenever they found someone who made something truly masterful or created a new art form, they'd pass on their idol on. Take a new name. See, that's how the mortals became confused. They got it wrong. Like they got almost everything about us wrong.
You scared me. You're Apollo. What are you doing here? Let's just acknowledge that he's Apollo.
Apollo, right? God of prophecy? One of the chorus.
Sometimes I am, yes.
What does that mean?
It means... It means sometimes I just feel like an old man who's lost too many friends. If I may ask, how did you find this place? And what are you doing here?
For an old man, he's got a nice six-pack, so... Okay, so we can't do this one. You're not just here to grieve. Pan told me about it. I need answers. I need your help. So let's just go ahead with our charisma one.
I'm looking for help. To save my life, remember?
Yes, I should apologize for that. Our ways must seem strange to you.
You don't need to apologize. You're the only one who really helped me.
It wasn't right, what they were doing.
It still isn't. I still need help.
I can't help you, Grace. I wish I could.
You
You
can.
deserve better.
Well, if he feels that way, I mean, come on. So, why can't you help me? Can you tell me about Calliope? Why is this room such a mess? Let's go with this one.
Why can't you help me exactly? Pan said there's no specific rule against it.
You've already met Pan? How odd. It's not that I'm forbidden to help you, Grace. It's that you don't want my help.
Of course I do! You have to know more than me about almost everything!
My help will only make things worse.
How is that possible? I've been sentenced to death.
And without my help, you stand a chance of avoiding that fate.
Okay, can you tell me about Calliope? Why is this room such a mess? Let's talk about Calliope.
Can you tell me about Calliope? I barely knew her, but she seemed
She was a beautiful soul, if troubled.
troubled.
She thought the idols had lost their way. She argued with us, with all of us, that we needed to change. We hadn't spoken in years. I hadn't seen her home before today. I'd rather not talk about it.
Guess we can't do that one. Let's do why is this room such a mess?
This room is a mess. Did you do this?
With this? It was like this when I got here.
And you didn't think that was in the least bit strange?
I didn't think much of it. I came here to be reminded of Calliope, not to search through her things. That end, it's cleaner than my place.
Okay, there could be a clue here.
So you didn't mess up the room, but someone must have. There could be a clue.
Well, nothing that I've seen. All this mess, as you put it, is likely the result of her projects.
Her projects?
When Calliope got an idea in her head, she would obsess over it, sometimes for months, even years. I don't know what she was involved with lately, but this... for her, this is nothing.
Okay, so you won't help me at all.
So let me get this straight. You'll speak up for me, but you won't lift a finger to help.
You don't want me to do more.
You keep saying that, but it doesn't make any sense. If you didn't want to help, that'd be one thing. But insisting I don't want you to? Why not?
I can't do this.
Okay, can you explain why?
I can see this is hard for you, I really can. But I don't understand.
You don't know what you're asking.
Do I have to beg? For whatever reason you helped me before. My life is still on the line.
I haven't sung in centuries.
According to Pan, I can't force anyone to do anything.
Phantom pains from a missing friend, feeding thoughts, thoughts that never end. What did I do? What didn't I do? Here she is, only in your head. Long gone fights, but they're never dead. What did I do? What didn't I do?
And Calliope.
Calliope, what was she?
I wasn't paying attention.
Years, thousands of years, we walked side by side. She tried, said there's other paths. Don't walk the same, never the same. I have roads I like, smooth, paved in stone. She got tired of our divide.
Did you kill Calliope?
we weren't the same, never the same.
You held fast. What's that about?
Stubborn me thought I'd wait her out. Usually she'd come back to me. You see, she'd return. We'd do that old dance, knowing both there was not a chance that I would change.
Okay, be more like Calliope.
But she never came.
Years, thousands of years, and now you're left behind. Your mind still hears her say, break from the same, never the same. Listen to her, break from the same, never the same.
But I've tried.
Never with me. We haven't tried.
And
Don't push you too hard, man. I know you'd come around. Is that a yes? She'll help. I'm just gonna stick with the green because that matches our charisma.
Tell me if it's too hard. If I pushed you too far, just say.
it's okay. She's gone. Can't be the same. Never the same. That hidden voice, it'll always play on a loop. It'll always say, what did I do? What didn't I do?
It's a song you can't erase, but you can make a tiny space for what you will do. Something new.
Very well, I'll help. Though I'm uncertain what you expect me to do.
Athena called you the god of prophecy, didn't she? Isn't that telling the future?
Prophecy is the last thing you need, Grace.
Okay, sounds like it'd be useful. Can you explain why? There you go again. Okay, so it sounds like
Why?
useful.
How is knowing the future a bad thing?
Do you want to know when you're going to die?
If knowing allows me to avoid it, sure.
To receive a prophecy is not simply to be told what might happen, it's to be told what will happen. To know a prophecy is to be bound to its outcome. Only in ignorance is one free to choose.
Okay, so how does that work? That doesn't sound helpful. Let's go. How does
What?
that work?
That makes no sense. If you tell me I'm gonna fall into a hole.
Then you will.
No, but I'll just avoid holes. All holes, any hole.
And the act of trying to avoid them is what will make you fall. Worse, prophecies are never crystal clear. Sometimes you won't understand the full meaning until it's too late.
How is it a power? Can you help any other way? So I'm doomed. Let's go help it.
Okay, is there anything you can do that isn't prophecy related?
Not directly, but yes, possibly. Come with me. There's someone I'd like you to meet.
I would go anywhere with you, dude. It's not what I was expecting.
This is where you live?
Oh, yes. Sometimes. And excuse the mess. I
Oh man, it's a dump.
don't get many visitors.
Aren't idols rich? It's fine. No kidding. Let's just go with it's fine.
Don't worry about it. I have 3 brothers. I've seen a mess or two.
Well, you're being kind. I admit I hadn't realized how bad it was.
You said I'm here to meet someone?
Ah, yes. Do you know what an oracle is?
Not really a fortune teller like the Oracle of Delphi. Oh, I want to say that because it's probably who it is. Because if I remember right, Apollo is tied with the Oracle of Delphi.
Someone who tells the future?
Not quite. They serve as a channel of sorts for my powers. This allows them to offer insight, knowledge they have no earthly means to possess. There's always been one. Over the ages, no matter where I go, one manages to find me.
Meaning there's an oracle here.
There is.
What?
I have brought someone to see you.
How many times do I have to tell you? I'm not a magic fortune cookie. Is that what Paul told you? Oracle's my handle. And even if I was the Oracle, I'm certainly not his Oracle.
Lovely to meet you. Are you sure? I don't know. So we're going to go with our charisma.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Oracle.
Well, she's got better manners than the last lady you brought here. But at least that one had a casserole. Do you have a casserole?
No.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Look, I'm sure he told you all sorts of nonsense. I use computers. I'm a hacker. That's it.
I ask very little of you, Oracle. Your help here would be appreciated.
Fine. Get your abs in a twist. Okay, so Paul brought you all this way just to see little old me. What's on your mind, sis?
Keep calling him Paul. You live here. You go with the computer. I'm going to go with this
You
one.
keep saying Paul. Do you mean Apollo?
Yeah, I know. Apollo, if that is his real name, says he's a god of prophecy, blah, 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 blah.
But you don't believe him.
Believe him? Who'd believe that? It's super weird, but he's a decent guy, so he can be Apollo if he wants, but I just can't call him that.
Okay, so you live here?
Do you live here?
I crash here, yeah. Better here than home.
She showed up one day, as the oracles do. Naturally, she is welcome to stay as long
So
as
neither
she
one of them
likes.
claim.
See the way he talks? I thought maybe he was a creep at first, but nah. Paul's aight.
The highest of praise.
He'd be more alright if he did some laundry.
Okay, so how well do you know Apollo? You go with let's go there.
Tell me, is Apollo always so...
Incredibly emo? Like a sack stuffed with sad?
I am standing right here.
Don't get me wrong. It grows on you after a while.
Grace, surely this is not what you came for.
Oh, yes, it was. Oh, yes, flirting option. This is fun.
Oh, I don't know. It's cute watching you get all flustered.
It's hardly productive, is it?
See, there you go again.
Get a room. A different room.
So you're good with computers?
So you're an oracle who uses the internet, huh?
Like I said, it's my handle. And yeah, it's a sweet setup, huh? Some of it's even legit.
The parts I purchased for her, presumably.
Bargain for, fair and square. And I keep telling you to get me an Ethernet cable.
I don't know what that is.
It's the 21st century, Paul. And your 21st century Oracle needs her some download speed, okay?
Okay, so I need information.
I'm looking for information about someone named Calliope. Can you help?
Oh, the lady from that apartment I sent Paul to. Yeah, I've been checking that out.
What did I tell you?
I looked it up. You could do the same if you learned to use a computer. Here, hold up, I'll show you. There. The apartment was originally purchased 2 years ago by a holding company, Core with a K Enterprises.
Oh. Oh, I see. That would be Persephone.
Oh no, she does not like me. Okay, the one from Chorus, I knew it. Is that a surprise?
Persephone is in the one from the chorus. The one who wanted me dead, Persephone.
I wasn't aware Persephone and Calliope were friendly. Certainly not friendly enough for Persephone to give Calliope an apartment. The good news is that Persephone is easy to find. I can take you to her if you like.
I'd rather go alone. Will there be trouble? You're helping me now. Let's go with that one. You're helping me now?
Ever happened to, I can't help you, Grace. I'll just make it worse, Grace.
I admit, you've got me curious.
Great! We're all done now.
Thank you for your help, Oracle. Please, do try to get out from behind your screens at least once today. Perhaps go for a walk.
Yeah, sure, will do. Leave a tip on your way out.
Okay, so time to confront Persephone at her nightclub. Should have known she had a nightclub. So let's go journal real quick. Okay, so according to Oracle, Persephone owns the apartment Calliope was living in. So they knew each other. They were close. I guess she's next on my list of idols to talk to. Though I have a feeling she's not going to be very happy to see me. Okay, nothing new with Pan. Or Athena. Okay, so for Apollo, I went to Calliope's apartment, and who should I find there? Apollo, sitting there in the dark in a room that had obviously been turned inside out by somebody searching for something. He says he didn't do it and that he was there mourning Calliope. They were close for a long time, it seems, but a rift began between them a couple of years ago that never quite healed. Was it the kind of rift that might lead to her murder? For one, he keeps saying that helping me will do more harm than good. What does that even mean? According to him, his prophecies lock you into your fate as soon as you hear them, which could be good or bad, I guess. Apparently, they're not always 100% clear, so maybe he's right. Maybe it's better not to know. Thankfully, Apollo did have another way to help me, namely through a teenage computer whiz who lives in his dump of a home, the Oracle, or just Oracle, as she insists that's just her handle. She found out that Calliope's apartment was owned by Persephone, so we're off to her nightclub to ask her why. Okay, so I don't think there was anything about... Okay, so Calliope. It appears Calliope was staying at an apartment, one that belonged to Persephone of all people, and it's actually not too far from mine. Could that be where Calliope was attacked? Am I crazy for agreeing to check it out by myself? Calliope was one of the 3 idols called the muses, the last one still living, according to Apollo. Once they were his constant companions, but in the last few years they grew apart. Calliope was angry at how the idols had lost their way and apparently argued with everyone a lot, which doesn't sound like Calliope I met at all. If it's true, it means she wasn't the most popular idol, and there may be more suspects than I imagine. I visited Calliope's apartment. It was gorgeous, filled with every musical instrument you could imagine and memorabilia dating back, 100 years or more. She had everything she could ever possibly want or need at her fingertips. Is this what it means to be a muse? Okay, so this was from the last one. So Freddie was at the apartment when Pan arrived, so I had to tell her everything. Part of me feels bad for getting her involved, but I have to admit none of this felt quite real until I did. What I wasn't expecting was that Freddie would lash out at Pan the way she did. What's wrong with her? First she says she'll support me, no questions asked, and the next she's demanding I choose between her and Pan. It's so crazy. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to the Underworld nightclub.
Welcome to the underworld.
Wow. How have I never heard of this place?
Persephone
there's
keeps it a
Pan.
secret, while still managing to draw a crowd every night. Don't ask me how. Here in the underworld, idols can be themselves,
There's Apollo.
even if they don't look human.
Hermes. Is it dangerous? Not your kind of place. Odd place to find Persephone. Let's go.
Do you come here often?
No. Persephone and I aren't friends.
Is she friends with anyone?
Not many, no. Except Calliope, apparently. If we're to find Persephone in all this, we'll need to split up. Have you considered what you'll say to her?
Not really. Can't I simply ask her? I'll fight her if I have to. I'll be persuasive.
I'll figure something out. I can be persuasive when I want to be.
I'm aware. I'm just not sure even you could sweet-talk Persephone.
Is that a challenge?
It's the truth. If Persephone really was friends with Calliope, talking to you might be the last thing she wants. You need to be prepared to use your powers, as you did with me. Come find me in the crown if you need anything. Otherwise, be careful, Grace.
I was gonna say, I saw another god sitting over here somewhere. Yeah, right here. This guy here. That's probably Ares. Oh, Eros. Okay. Well, let's just go ahead and talk to Apollo.
I thought this would be easier, but it's as if Persephone left instructions to thwart me. Every staff member I approach screams and runs off. I hope your search has been more successful.
Can you tell me about Persephone? This isn't your kind of place, is it? Let's go with this one.
You don't come here often, I'm guessing?
Never.
I mean, you did kind of answer that
I'm
earlier.
sure Persephone only sent the membership as a formality. I doubt she thought I'd ever use it.
Don't you ever have fun? No drinking or dancing in Apollo land?
Once. When I had the muses to keep me company.
Okay, I'm sorry. Try living a little. I'll keep you company. Oh, yeah.
I'm a muse now. I can keep you company.
Nothing would make me happier. But you do have a predicament to solve first.
Hey, could you tell me about
It
Persephone?
might help if I knew more about Persephone.
It couldn't hurt. What would you like to know, exactly?
What's Persephone's story?
What's Persephone's story? Her name rings a bell, but I don't...
No doubt you've heard the tale of how Hades, lord of the underworld, kidnapped a young sweet goddess and made her his wife.
That sweet young goddess was... Persephone.
Her mother, Demeter, was so enraged she blanketed the world in ice, rendering it barren and infertile. Zeus was forced to act. He decreed that Persephone would be shared between Demeter and Hades, and thus the matter was resolved.
That's why we have spring, summer, and winter.
Well,
and
you
fall.
asked. That's her story, as the mortals tell it.
How much of that story is true?
So tell me, how much of Persephone's legend is true?
Well, let's see. Hades did kidnap Persephone. That certainly did happen. The idols almost went to war over it until Zeus intervened and ordered Hades and Persephone to wed. That quieted things. At least until Persephone killed Hades.
He deserved it. She killed him. This sort of thing happened a lot.
Whoa.
As I understand it, Hades was not kind to her. I'd like to say we handled it well. That Zeus and the idols were mindful of what Persephone had been through, but that would be a lie. Persephone was punished for the murder, the underworld taken from her, and we all stood by and let it happen. She has never forgiven us, and honestly, I can't blame her.
I don't blame her either, but that was long ago. But the idols have changed. Let's go.
Have the idols changed much, you think, since those days?
Well, you know the saying, the more things change, the more they stay the same.
Okay, so Persephone murdered an idol.
Wait, Persephone killed another idol.
Oh, long time ago, yeah.
What about all of Athena's rules? Wouldn't Persephone have been... I don't know.
Executed? The murder of Hades is probably why we now have that rule. Back then, we heard Persephone had usurped Hades' throne, but we couldn't believe it. It just wasn't done. Now, of course, I look back and think we should have seen it coming. Oh, the benefit of hindsight.
Why didn't you see it coming? You're the god of prophecy.
When I look, I learned long ago not to.
So they kind of did a different take on Persephone and Hades. Because I don't believe that she killed him. The whole kidnapping that happened, but I don't think she killed him. So what did Persephone do next?
So what happened to Persephone after...
The murder? She survived, like the rest of us. She got older, and when we came to the New World, I think she would have left us if it was allowed. It isn't, so instead she did as she pleased. She started a cult, became a crime boss.
Oh, what?
It was after her last transition, but honestly, I have no insight into anything Persephone does these days.
So I should keep looking.
I'll get going. I still need to find Persephone.
I'll keep trying as well.
Yeah, they're taking a different story with Hades and Persephone because actually, I mean, other than the fact that he did kidnap her and forced her to be his wife, she did eventually fall in love with him, and he was actually one of the few gods that was loyal. Like, Zeus and Poseidon had tons of children with, humans and nymphs and stuff like that. And, but Hades stayed with Persephone. Okay, so let's talk to Eros. He's the only one we haven't met yet, so...
Oh, hey. You're the new muse, aren't you?
I guess I am, yeah.
Aphrodite mentioned it. Didn't figure I'd see you here, though. Oh, excuse the manners. Name's Eros, god of sex.
Oh. I was just about to say, I don't know that. I mean, Eros sounded familiar, but I didn't know. So how do you know Aphrodite? I wonder why. There's a god of sex. Okay, I've got to ask.
Wait, did you say that you're the god of sex?
Desire, really. Sensuality. Attraction. Why? Were you expecting a chubby little flying baby with a bow and arrow?
I wasn't...
I actually preferred Cupid, but Pan had to be the trickster. Spread all those stupid stories.
I'm... sorry?
Why? It's not your fault. Just another grudge I get to carry around forever.
So how do you know Aphrodite?
You know Aphrodite, right? I only met her the once.
Sure, she's my
I was
mother.
gonna say, he must be
You know how it
Aphrodite's
is.
son.
How would I know? New here, remember?
Oh, right. Yeah, sorry. I wasn't thinking. But you hear a lot of idols talk about each other like that. Mother, brother, sister, grandfather. None of us are actually related. We just played a family for so many centuries. It may as well be true.
Okay, so Aphrodite is your mother?
So Aphrodite is your mother, but not really.
That's right. A long time ago, she took care of me when I needed taking care of. The mortals, they just assumed. These days, well, it's not like that anymore. We're not as invulnerable as we used to be. Least of all, Aphrodite.
Okay, so what are you doing here?
The god of sex at a club. Looking for someone?
Once I might have, sure. Now I'm just here to see it happen.
See what happened?
Look out there. See all these people. The hope, the anticipation, the connections, they bounce off each other. To me, it's like lightning.
That's a bit creepy. That is a little bit creepy. Sounds a little pervy. You enjoy that? Sounds like fun. But let's go with sounds like fun.
There are worse ways to spend a night out.
I used to make it happen, you know. Mortals once begged me to make it happen, to inspire true love. But now I only inspire sex. Not the same thing. It's just as well. People should find true love the hard way. They'll value it more.
You seem a little distracted. Is everything okay?
Of course it is. Sure. Not obvious, huh? Truth is, I don't come here that often. No, it's hard to get away. I just... No, never mind.
You can talk to me a bad day. I don't want to pry. Let's go with you and talk.
I'm willing to listen if you need to talk.
I appreciate that. Maybe some other time.
Need to find Persephone.
Here's the thing. I'm looking for Persephone, but I can't find her anywhere.
Well, I know where she is, but I question whether she'd be happy to see you.
Oh, she wouldn't.
I like you, but Mother told me what happened at the chorus. I don't want to cause trouble with Persephone.
Okay, I don't blame you. Would it be a problem? I'll just say I don't blame
I don't know Persephone well, but considering what I do know, I don't blame you.
I know it's lousy, and I'm sorry. I hope I can make it up to you someday.
Well, I mean, he is the god of...
I'll see you around.
Count on it.
Okay, let's talk to Hermes.
Whoa, you're here. I mean, you gotta be somewhere, but you're here.
Hello, Hermes.
Sorry about running off on you back at the thing. Didn't really have a choice, but sorry anyway.
Okay, so what's your...
You're not
story?
much like the other idols, are you?
No? I haven't been an idol very long. Maybe like a year? I've lost track. So, I'm not the one to ask about the idol stuff. It's all cool, but mostly I do whatever Athena asks. Athena says one day I'll sit on the chorus. That'll be sick. Can you imagine me in charge?
Not really. Why not? Isn't Athena in charge? Okay, that's really rude, even though I want to say it just because I think it'd be funny. Let's just go.
Why not? Maybe you can shake some dust off the other idols.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a lot of dust.
You're right about that.
I don't think Athena would let me clean anything anyway. She won't even let me touch her spear.
Okay, so how did you know Calliope died?
When Calliope died, you were right there, within moments. How did you know?
I told you. I got word, so I came.
But how did you get word?
Look, when an idol dies, I have to be there. So I just know. It's a Hermes thing.
But why did you take the body? Sounds grim. Let's ask if he took
To
the body.
take the body, clean up the blood, that sort of thing?
Oh, that too, yeah. But that's on Athena's orders.
To keep the idols secret?
Sure. Can you imagine the questions? I don't know how we hide so well as it is.
Okay, so how did you become an idol? What do you know about the market? Let's ask.
You've only been an idol for a year? How did that happen?
Probably same way it did with you.
Oh, the old Hermes died in your arms and then they accused you of his murder?
No. Well, yes. I mean, no, not like that. But yeah. I was there when he died. We were friends, and I was having trouble at home, and he helped me out. I miss him.
When he died, is that normal? Why call yourself Hermes? Let's ask how he
Can
died.
I ask how he died?
He didn't want to be here anymore.
You mean...
I'd rather not talk about it. I'm him now. It's all good.
Okay, so what do you know about the murder?
This is probably a stupid question, but... Do you know who might have killed Calliope?
Ugh, why would I know anything about that?
When you came to the apartment, it seemed like you knew her.
Oh no, I only met her once. She didn't live with the rest of the idols or hang out with us very much. She seemed nice though. Angry, maybe. But I don't know who'd want to hurt her.
She didn't like the idols, angry. You don't seem that sad. Let's go with angry.
How was she angry?
Pissed off. But more because she cared about everyone too much not to be. I don't know, that's what I thought anyhow. I'm probably wrong.
Need to find Persephone.
Do you know if Persephone is here? I need to talk to her.
Oh, you're serious. Why would you want to talk to Persephone? Nobody ever wants that. One time, I laughed too loud near her, and she threatened to ban me from the club. I don't want to be banned. I like it here.
Pull yourself together. Never mind then. Is she that bad? Let's go with this one.
Is Persephone really that bad? Why do the idols put up with her?
We're like family, and Persephone is that really mean aunt that nobody wants to invite. Don't tell her I said that. She keeps a list. It's a thing.
Okay, forget I asked.
Whew! Man, just the thought of talking to Persephone gives me goosebumps. Blech.
See you later.
We'll see you around.
If you die, then for sure. But, don't die.
Wow, thanks. Okay, and I guess we'll go to Pan.
As I live and breathe, if it isn't our dear muse.
Hi, Pam.
Tell me, have you decided to leave your troubles behind and join us in the land of shadows and revelry?
So what are you doing here? Thanks for the address.
I should thank you for the address. It's what led me here.
No need to thank me. You'll owe me. Remember, how you managed to stir the sun god from his oh so tiresome gloom, I cannot imagine. Nicely done.
You knew I'd find him. He's been helpful. I like him. Let's go with I like him.
I like him. It took some convincing, but at least he's helping me without asking anything in return.
Truly, how do you function with such naivete?
Do you know something I don't?
Yes. I'm sorry, was that in question?
Okay, so what are you doing?
I'm guessing it's a total coincidence that I'm running into you here.
It must be. The alternative would be that I knew a great many things ahead of time.
Well, did you?
Do I look like an oracle? I am here to listen to thrilling music and meet delicious people. My tastes are simple.
Uh-huh.
Speaking of simple tastes, my glass is empty again. The service here is appalling.
Come to the club often. How can I trust you? Let's go with this
The
one.
things you say, the things you don't say. You don't make yourself seem trustworthy. You know that?
Trust is for the weak and the penniless.
Still not helping.
Why, Grace, are you assuming that I, Pan, am some sort of scoundrel?
Yes, I am. Or maybe a murderer seems so. Hoping maybe. See, I don't want to flirt with it, because normally I would, flirt with all the guys that I could. But I don't want to mess things up with Apollo, so we'll just go see.
It's more that I'm stating it outright.
The hurt, the insult, and after you chose me over your friend.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what to tell you, Grace. Even an idol needs to get by.
Okay, so you come to club
I
often?
assume you're a regular at this club?
And why would you assume that, dear Grace?
The horns, you. Do you know Persephone well?
There is no knowing Persephone well. She won't have it. Not anymore.
Not anymore?
Long ago, we were all very different. Over the span of ages, however, even mountains erode.
Okay, so I need to find
You must know why I'm here, right?
Let me guess. You seek our sweet-natured proprietress.
Can you help me find her?
Work. Helping people is all I do, all day long. This, however, you want me to throw myself at the mercy of our lioness. You ask a great deal, Grace.
What if I ask nicely? Or are you afraid? I thought we were friends. Let's go with this
What if I asked you really nicely and batted my eyelashes, like so?
Oh, no. Not my one true weakness.
I could also flatter you, tell you how shiny your horns are.
All right. Never let it be said that flattery gets one nowhere. Let me know when you're ready, and I'll take you to Persephone.
I really appreciate it.
Do keep that in mind after you've spoken to her.
Okay, so let's check out our journal. We've added a few new entries. Probably with Hermes. Okay, so, okay. I think it's here. So I ran into none other than Hermes at the Underworld. I'm pretty sure they didn't follow me there. They were just vibing. You know, for an idol, they don't seem that bad. They answered one question, at least, about how they showed up at the apartment so quickly. Apparently, when an idol dies, Hermes has to be there. Whoever Hermes is at the time, I guess. They were kind of closed-mouthed about it, but they just know. Strange story, but what else is new? Would you believe Hermes has only been an idol for a year or so? They talk a lot about the old Hermes, so I guess they must have gone through something like me. They were there when the old Hermes died, and his eidolon passed on to them. How often does that happen, I wonder? Yeah, it makes you wonder, was like the old Hermes the original one, or, you know, just one that had taken the powers? Okay, so anything new with Apollo? Nope. Okay, so Apollo gave me the lowdown on Persephone. Apparently the whole story about how she was kidnapped by Hades, Lord of the Underworld, is more or less true. He made Persephone his bride against her will, and the other idols did squat to stop it. What the stories don't mention is how she later killed Hades and took his throne, only to have that throne taken away by the other idols as punishment for the murder. Persephone is pretty pissed about it still, and honestly, who wouldn't be? Okay, so I actually ran into Pan again at the Underworld, just by coincidence, so he says, hanging around in the very place his tip eventually led me to. Granted, the Underworld is his kind of place, but what are the odds? Pan agreed to help me find Persephone, who either didn't know I was at the club or was avoiding me. This place is huge. And this time he didn't even ask for anything in return. I just had to bat my eyelashes at him and say, pretty please. Okay, so Eros. I met Eros, the god of sex, just hanging around in the Underworld, looking like a Turkish wrestler taking a quick break from his BDSM dungeon. He was nice enough, if kind of wrapped up in his own problems. Hardly seemed the killer type, but what do I know? Okay, so let's talk to Apollo one more time before we go to Persephone, see if anything new popped up.
No luck yet, I'm afraid. And why is the music here so loud?
Okay, Grandpa. Why is everyone scared of Persephone?
I thought she was just mad at me, but everyone seems afraid of Persephone.
Noticed that, did you? Persephone is angry with everyone, and has been for a very long time. I've told you why. But it's more than that. She does not let go of a grudge. 1,000 years could pass, and Persephone will remember what you did like it was yesterday.
Okay, so I found some help.
I found someone who will bring me to Persephone.
Finally! I'll be right behind you.
You're coming with me? But I thought...
She seems even angrier with you than she is with me. I might be able to mediate.
We'll see, I guess.
Okay, so let's talk to Persephone. Wait, was she there the whole time and I did not see her? How did I miss her at the bar?
If you're angry with anyone, Persephone, be angry with me. It was I who...
I will deal with you later. I was willing to leave you be, Grace, to wait until your guilt was certain. Yet here you are, in my domain, uninvited. Why? Are you here to beg for mercy? Are you here to challenge me? Should I be afraid?
So I have questions. I don't want to fight. What is your problem? Let's go with
I'm not trying to start a fight. Far from it. I came here hoping you could help me.
Help you? Perhaps you could help me instead. I'd like to understand a few things. Do you really expect us to believe that Calliope chose you? What's the real story? Did you stumble across her as she lay dying and desperate? Are you an accident? Did you learn what she was? Did you torture her, hold her at the point of death until she agreed to hand over her eidolon?
Persephone, this isn't...
You have every reason to try to prove your innocence, Grace. But I have no reason to help you.
Calliope lived at your apartment. You're a suspect too. I need your help. Oh, since it's a question, let's go ahead. I need your help, Apollo.
Now would be a good time to mediate, Apollo.
Is that why you're here, brother? Because you know me so well?
Because I know that you care. Far more deeply than you could ever admit.
How would you know that? You resigned. You abandoned everything and everyone who ever needed you. You don't know the first thing about me, and you never did. Just crawl back into your dark little hole, Apollo.
Okay, so let's not accuse her of being a suspect. Let's say Calliope lived at your apartment.
You knew Calliope.
We all knew Calliope.
She was staying at your apartment.
You knew her. Better than I or anyone else suspected.
Are you implying that I had something to do with her death?
Prove you didn't. That's how idols work, isn't it?
You hear that? You're in my house, little muse. You want answers? Fight for them.
A lost little girl, you shouldn't have come here. And I sure ain't in the mood to make new friends. Go home, little girl, the shadows drawing near. And you all alone, we both know how this ends. Let's see how far she bends, we all know how this ends.
Because that's an ingredient, so.
Thanks for the welcome, it's my first time here. You've made your feelings for me crystal clear. You play your show, I'll just go grab a beer. Didn't come here to quarrel with you. Love what you've done here, this place comes up well. You've nailed the theme, it really feels like hell. Guess you're not looking for new clientele. Just as well, that's a 5-star review. Let's try the easy way. Hear what I have to say.
They get younger every year. Little big shots that drift through here think they're bringing something new through the door. And you've heard it 1,000 times before. Honey, I've heard it 1,000 times before. Honey, I've heard it 1,000 times.
Why would I come down here and start a brawl? I'm just running out of time is all. If it's true that I'm just lost and small, why you keeping your guard up?
Now she's lifting rifts from pen, so familiar, so secondhand. What a stock dime a dozen troubadour. Honey, we've heard it 1,000 times before. Oh, we've heard it 1,000 times.
Then I guess you've heard it all before. Gave it my best and then you slammed the door. Raises the question, who else you'd ignore?
They get younger
Stay in the dark
every
and fight your
year.
endless war.
The little big
Certain
shots
you can't be surprised anymore.
think they're
You know,
bringing
there's someone
something
else that I
new,
speak for.
but you've heard it.
Do you hear that?
Calliope.
She had something to say.
Go for the kill. It's not too late for you.
Turn her
I can feel your pain.
Please don't do this.
You're lost, Persephone. You've buried yourself.
don't need help from any of you. I was alone when you know who kidnapped and crushed all my dreams
Persephone
till
win.
the muse. I just want Calliope back.
You overcame so much on your own. You should be praised. I'm done throwing stones. Please believe me. Do you see me bowing down to you, my queen? Underworld, I hereby concede. You wanted blood, well, there's no more to bleed. Your queen's above that. Now I get that. But can you help, Persephone? Help a lost little girl.
Well, you won.
So it appears. If what you told the chorus is true, why do you think Calliope came to you that night?
I have no idea. She thought I could help. Let's go with that.
Maybe she thought I could help her. She must have been nearby when whatever happened, happened.
I see. All right, Grace. Come with me. Calliope came to me years ago. She'd grown tired of arguing with the idols, tired of being branded a troublemaker. She couldn't watch the idols wither away without a fight. I knew how she felt. So I gave her the apartment.
So how well did you know her? You gave it to her? No conflict at all. How well did you
So
know
you
her?
must know better than anyone what she's been up to.
Not exactly. Calliope and I haven't spoken for at least 2 years. After I heard the news, I went to the apartment and turned it upside down. I had to know the truth.
That was you?
I didn't find anything. Nothing to say what she had been involved with, or gotten into, or who she might have been fighting with.
You still think I did it? That sounds suspicious. I don't know what if I want to pin her just right. So you still.
So what now? Do you still think I'm guilty?
You're clever. You let me win our showdown, and that's a solid move. Calliope may well have chosen you.
If it wasn't Grace, that means someone else was behind Calliope's death. Someone who could keep their involvement hidden.
One of us.
Must it be an idol? Shouldn't we tell Athena?
Does it have to be an idol? You thought I killed Calliope. Couldn't it have been some other mortal?
Despite how he might look, it's not a simple matter to kill an idol.
It was difficult enough to believe you had done it. If another mortal killed her, they somehow escaped detection. We found nothing, no evidence of a battle.
You looked?
Of course we looked. What do you think was happening while you waited? If Calliope was attacked elsewhere, even magic revealed no traces.
So why would they think Grace had done it? Okay, did Calliope have enemies? Did you say magic? Should we tell? Okay, let's ask
Did
about
Calliope
enemies.
have any enemies? The way you talk about her, she must have. What? What am I missing?
Calliope had a way of making people angry. She could be argumentative.
Yes, but enough to make enemies who wanted her dead?
Not that you or I know of, apparently, but that doesn't mean they didn't exist.
Okay, let's go. Did you say magic?
Wait. Did you say magic?
You can battle me through a song in a world of your own creation, and yet magic is beyond belief?
Well, sure. I just thought...
We have our powers just as you have yours.
I can grow a field of corn like nobody's business.
Some would say our powers are also magic, but true magic is a different and older power. Hecate's domain.
And it was of no use here.
We shouldn't rule it out. We haven't tried everything yet.
Okay, so let's go. What about?
What about Pan? He showed up at my place out of nowhere, right after I left the chorus.
He did what?
I have to wonder what his angle is.
He has one, that's for certain. Though I've never thought of him as a killer. It would be too... messy.
Still, we should consider the idea. For him to show up so quickly is... odd.
Could Athena be
What
the
about
killer?
Athena? She seemed awfully insistent on declaring me guilty, don't you think?
Athena? No, Athena follows the rules.
Well...
Athena has one goal, and one goal only. To protect the idols. And that included Calliope. She'll eventually drive us all mad with her vigilance, but break her own rules? I don't see it.
Let's go with your both.
For all I know, either one of you could have done it, and you're just playing along.
Apollo is capable of many things, but lying? He was never any good at it.
Whereas we know how capable you are of murder.
Okay, this
The
isn't...
one and only god I killed deserved it.
Right. Sorry I brought it up. Couldn't we go to Athena with this? If you've changed your minds and you're both part of the chorus...
Athena would be sympathetic, but... the die has been cast.
She won't go back on the edict, not without clear evidence.
Oh, now you want evidence.
She acted on the information she had. If we want to sway her, we need something better.
I don't know what I'm supposed to do. You know the idols. Don't you have any ideas?
Told you I wouldn't be of much help, Grace.
Did you now? That's unsurprising. When are you ever of help to anyone but yourself?
Says the woman who forced Grace to challenge her rather than answer a simple question.
Calliope died, Apollo. Calliope, who came with us all the way from the old world.
You think I don't know that? Are you forgetting what the muses meant to me?
You stop fighting. Should I give up? This won't help Calliope.
Please, both of you! None of this will help Calliope. I know you both miss her. I know you cared about her, but she's not completely gone. A piece of her is in me. She came to me for help, and I don't want to die any more than she did.
Calliope, I'm listening now. Tell us what end you were doomed to.
Calliope, blinded by fire, one match did you strike that consumed you.
How could you blame her? What could she have done to earn such a fate? You are blinded.
God of the sun hides from his own eyes. What would you know about fate?
You say that you knew her, she was family to us, yet you don't hesitate to accuse her. Oh, queen without a throne, go bitter with fury. Not everyone seeks to betray you.
Stop this!
Please remember what we are here to do.
We must avenge a muse.
Apollo, your help is not needed here. Go ahead and abandon another muse.
How could you throw that gauntlet at me? Could your heart shrivel any further?
You abandoned me to a terrible fate.
You replay your injuries,
It's
tell
far
it's
too
too
late.
late.
You know how far I've been before I
trapped.
snapped.
This is not about you. Enough! This helps no one.
There he is, god of the sun.
Aren't you a queen with all that that means? Stop looking for a fight. These old wounds, they confine you. You're more than your pain.
She abandoned us.
Follow him or stay.
You're gonna follow Apollo?
That was not my finest moment. Persephone will never let this go.
Okay, so what was all that about? You were in the wrong. You're probably right. It was impressive. Let's go.
You kind of went dark and stormy back there. It was impressive.
I honestly thought I had left that behind me.
Left what? Signs of life? The world won't wither if you raise your voice, Apollo.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. I just wish old habits didn't return so easily around her.
Family thing, huh?
That's why I've tried to avoid my fellow idols for so long. I don't like who I am when I'm with them.
Okay, I can relate. That's not a solution, and no wisdom with age. Let's just go with I can relate.
I know what you mean. I'll be 14 around my parents forever.
Try living in their house for 1,000 years.
Ooh, no thanks.
At least coming here was useful. You have a better idea of where to start looking, right?
Okay, where's that? Is Athena really not an option? You're still helping me. Let's see, where is
And
that?
where is that?
I need to give it some thought. This won't be easy. If another idol is behind this, they know as well. They had a plan.
So you don't know where to look next?
I need time to sort it out. Just be patient, Grace.
Okay, let's see. Are you still helping
I
me?
thought you'd decide that getting me into the underworld was enough.
What? Bring you to Persephone and then shrug? Not my problem now?
Isn't that your thing? I wouldn't blame you. I appreciate it. Let's get that.
What I meant to say is... thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Sorry. I'm not used to asking people for help.
It's all right. I certainly know that tune.
Is Athena really not an option?
I have to ask, is Athena really not an option? She wouldn't see what you see? At all?
I respect Athena. She has dragged us into the modern age, sometimes kicking and screaming. She's why we're alive. But if I said that her need to keep us safe didn't drive her to extremes, I'd be lying. You represent a risk, Grace. To her, that is more important than any notion of compassion or justice.
Well, maybe that's why she could have done it. Calliope was starting to become a risk. That's harsh. How am I a risk?
I'm not that much of a risk, am I? I won't explode. What's the worst that could happen?
The worst is that we could be admitting either a murderer or a usurper into our ranks.
How awful.
She's protecting an idea as much as a physical reality. It's true. To her, there is no difference.
Is there anything I can do in the meantime? Someplace I can look?
Don't you want to relax? You haven't rested since this began.
Relax? Who can relax? I've been sentenced to death, Apollo.
Fair point. Even so, go home, Grace. The next time you see me, I'll have a better notion of what to do.
Fine. But I'm holding you to that.
Well, I hope he comes the next day because I literally have, what, 6 days left? 5? Okay, so God of the Sun remained at Apollo's side, and the deep end finished Act 1.
Hey, Freddie.
Hey.
Is everything okay?
Not really. I felt like crap after you left. I don't know why I acted like that. I just had this image of you being swept off into some new world without me.
Okay, so I never leave you behind. I should apologize, not you. I can't do this without you. You're forgiven. I'll go with I should apologize.
You're apologizing. After I dumped the whole, hey, I'm a god thing on you, I'm the one who should be sorry.
No. I'm gonna cry.
Wait until after we figure out how to save my sorry life.
Okay, right you are. Tell me what's happened since I saw you last. Huh. Persephone runs a club called the Underworld. That's a little on the nose.
I wouldn't suggest saying that to her face.
And you ended up siding with Apollo? Lord of the Sun, god of prophecy? Do you trust him?
I think so. These idols are crazy. Not really.
I'm not sure. I think so. It doesn't seem like he's lying, but he's hard to read.
Famous last words.
Tell me about it.
So, what are your options? You need to go back to Apollo's place, right?
I could go back to the underworld. Make sure Persephone isn't taking my decision personally.
Oh, and, there's this. Pan left a card, says, "Come by Olympus." I doubt he means the mountain in Greece.
What could he want? I just spoke to him. The idols live there.
That name keeps coming up. The idols live there, or at least most of them do.
Sounds cool. Even if Pan is there.
Still not a fan?
You know how some people just set your teeth on edge? That's Pan. I can't help it. But it doesn't matter. I said I'd help, and that's what I'll do. You can count on me, Grace.
Thanks, Freddie.
The muse? Oh, the embodiment of inspiration. Can you believe it?
Yeah, kinda.
Okay, so day 2. I should talk to Apollo or go see what Pan wants. So let's check out our journal. Okay, so with Freddie, I finally got back to the apartment after leaving the underworld, and of course Freddie was there waiting up for me. She felt really bad about how things went down with Pan. I guess I have to keep in mind that my song power draws things out of people, right? The good, the bad, and I can't control which it is. At least it's nice to know that Fred's still on my side. Okay, did I read that one? I don't think I read this one. So Calliope was one of the 3 idols called the Muses, the last one still living according to Apollo. Once they were his constant companions, but in the last few years they grew apart. Calliope was angry at how the idols had lost their way and apparently argued with everyone a lot, which doesn't sound like Calliope I met at all. If that's true, it means she wasn't the most popular idol and there may even be more subjects than I imagine, or suspects than I imagine. I visited Calliope's apartment. It was gorgeous, filled with every musical instrument you could imagine, and memorable dating. Oh, I think I read these. It's probably this one. So, apparently after years of arguing with the idols and making everyone angry, Calliope finally left Olympus, and that's why she became friends with Persephone, who gave her the apartment. However, Persephone says they haven't spoken in 2 years, so that doesn't, so she doesn't know what Calliope's been doing lately. Okay, let's see. Okay, so nothing new there. Nothing new with Aphrodite. I haven't really talked to her. Okay, saw the Oracle was the last one. So, wow, seeing Apollo and Persephone biting each other's heads off was really eye-opening. Do all the idols hold grudges against each other like this? If so, it's no wonder one of them got murdered. We got what we wanted. We got what we went for at the underworld, but Apollo and Persephone just couldn't stand working together for more than 5 minutes. Finally, he had enough, and so did I. Thankfully, Apollo is still willing to help me out. So much for I'll just make everything worse, Grace, but says he'll need to give our next step some thought. If there's an idol behind it, then they're a tricky one. Which, you know, fantastic. Exactly what I needed. Okay, there should be nothing new with Athena. Okay, that was... Okay, so when I finally met Persephone at her nightclub, she almost immediately challenged me to a song duel, which I let her win, of course, and I think she knew it. Thus, she finally answered my question, even if it didn't mean much. She gave Calliope the apartment, sure, but because Persephone felt sorry for her. They haven't spoken in maybe 2 years. Seems like the idols do this a lot. Things broke down between Apollo and Persephone very quickly. Persephone just couldn't resist taking pot shots, and Apollo couldn't help but respond. It was pretty sad to watch. Eventually, Apollo lost his cool completely and stormed out, and I went after him. At least we got what we came for. Okay, Okay, so Pan agreed to help me find Persephone, who either didn't know I was at the club or was avoiding me. This place is huge. And this time he didn't even ask for anything in return. I just had to bat my eyelashes at him and say, pretty please. Neither Apollo nor Persephone seemed to consider Pan much of a suspect. He's not a murderer, according to them, even though his sudden involvement is really suspicious. And then there shouldn't be anything new on Eros. Okay. Alright everyone, so we're going to go ahead and end it there. In the next video, we'll be starting day 2. I'll probably go talk to Apollo since that's who I'm going to romance in this playthrough. Let me know down in the comments below what you think of Stray Gods. Like I've said before, it's a different, very interesting game. It's more narrative than I would consider role-playing, to be honest. But I love the art style, and the music's great. Definitely just a really fun game. Please leave me a like, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you next time. Bye.